We'll quickly, as always, go over a couple of bits of news. The first bit of news, there's three that I've got. The first one is Dana White has announced that Colby Covington is next for Kamaru Usman. I will ask two sub-questions. First sub-question, what do we think about that? Initial reactions. Agent Romanov, go.
I'll take that, Ryan. First fight was fucking fantastic. I think the second fight will be fucking fantastic. I don't see any reason why it's going to change unless we're going to get a whole Tyron Woodley Wonder Boy situation where they suddenly become afraid of each other. It'll be fucking great, and I'll look forward to it.
All right. Well, Hawkeye?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree. I think it's, for me, the fight that should have happened. It's not the hype fight, it's the right fight. And it really will solidify if Usman is as great as people say he is. If he can improve on the performance than what he got the first time around, he is legit. He has improved exponentially. He is getting up there pound for pound list. I think he's going to be a real tough fucking fight, though.
Okay, so clearly both of you hate Leon Edwards. Ian, the sensible choice, please. Bruce Banner, talk to me.
Yeah, I think it's the right fight to make. I think it is, you know. I think that, you know, there would be a lot more buzz around a fight between those two guys than there would be with a Leon Edwards fight, you know. That being said, if Leon goes in, and I'm sure we'll talk about it a little bit later on, if Leon goes in and gets a finish over Nate Diaz, you know, he's definitely going to be next in line for the winner of that fight as well. So, well, you would have to think, like, you would really have to think, but we can talk about that later on. And, you know, I think with Usman, it's the right fight, him and Covington, to go at it again. And I reckon it'll be that fight, then possibly Edwards if he gets the win. And I think we might see a move up division then from Kamaru Usman, all depending on who's the champion in the middleweight division.
Yeah, so my initial reaction is that it's the wrong fight to make. The reason why I say that is because I want to see the best versus the best, right? And I'm going to steal a Sean Shin quote here. I want to see the best versus the best when they're at their best, right? We've seen Colby Covington when he was at his best the first time, right? I think it's fair to say that Colby came in, smoked everyone other than that very first slip up, and didn't even look like he tried. Then we got to the Usman fight. We got the absolutely fantastic fight that you guys have already spoken about. And don't get me wrong, I agree. Both guys will have improved since that fight, and it will be on paper, it's equally as good of a fight. However, he's already lost, right? And what we saw him do is we saw him go back and beat the ghost of Tyron Woodley, who's probably going to lose to Jake Paul next news item. But, right, what we haven't seen is Leon Edwards lose other than to the champion, before the champion was the champion, before either of them were anything. To me, the right fight to make, the best fight to make with the two best fighters at the best time is Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman. Now, I understand the logistics and all of that stuff, but I don't really care about hype fights. What I care about is the best fighting the best, right? That's what I want to see. Now, Colby Covington absolutely has a valid argument for saying that he's the best in that division, but he had a chance to prove that when he turned down the fight against Leon Edwards, right? So to me, the fight was Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman. Now, I'm not going to complain about Leon Edwards versus Nate Diaz. Sign me all of the way up, right? But I just feel like Colby talks all of this stuff about fighters needing to prove themselves, need to do this, need to do that. Well, going beating a Tyron Woodley that we knew was on the slide, I don't think is the way to prove it to himself. But that's my thoughts.